This is the Oddball Show, a podcasting collaboration of JP Live Productions and Oddball Magazine.
Yes, happy Tuesday night, boys and girls. This is the Oddball Show. Thanks for joining us once again on the livest podcast this side of Mars, Jupiter's Peace Ghost. Oh, hey, there I am, in echo. My name is Prof. I'm your shaman and guide on this magical journey, along with my good friend and co-host, creator, and editor of Oddball Magazine, Mr. Jason Wright. Please say hello.
That is me. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We have Jus Enuf on the program today, and we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk a little bit about some hip-hop and also give our respects to Phife Dawg. So, Prof, let's get it started.
Yeah, we are joined tonight by a man of many talents and aspirations, a writer, a poet, MC, a host of his own cctv series, What Do You Think?, all of which we will talk about tonight. Please welcome Jus Enuf.
What up? Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us, man. It's really it's great to have you on the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
As Jason just pointed out, before we get into anything of yours, we did lose a hip hop icon last week, and I know that Jason especially is a huge fan. So let's kick off a little bit with some talk about Phife Dawg, who last Tuesday. Phife Dawg of A Tribe Called Quest. That was really it was surprising, and you know what the crazy thing about it too is he was what was he, 45?
He was 45.
Yeah, he was young,
man. I mean, some of these guys are dropping off young, and it's health issues. It's not like he was involved.
Yeah,
with
totally.
An accident or anything else more devious. It was health, so that's
something. No, it's no judgment, but it's it's like it's a diet issue, or diet's so important nowadays. It's interesting, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he was diabetic from Beats, Rhymes, and Life, right?
Yeah, back then. I mean,
funky diabetic.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, beyond that, he's just a huge influence for me as far as delivery,
Oh, definitely.
And just his whole vibe with that crew was like kind of playful. He wasn't the illest MC, but his style was like one of the coolest out there.
Yeah, I definitely think when I heard Tribe Called Quest the first time, from like the first beat of Low End Theory to Midnight Marauders, the things that they did was impressive, and then they had Rhymes in Life, and that's the album, and then they ended up with the Love Movement. But the thing about Phife was he could hold his own lyrically. He was an incredible MC, and I think he was incredibly underrated.
Sure,
The stuff he came up with was pretty brilliant,
Yeah, he had a real cool flavor to him, man.
One of the things I think about the most is because I don't smoke that much, right? Not
yeah.
So when I write, I think when he's like, the dude comes up to him on the train and Beats, Rhymes, and Life, and he's like, I need a 40 right before I get loose. And he says, money please, I get loose off of orange juice. And I was like, that is awesome, because like a writer should be able to get loose no matter what, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty dope line.
I was always like, that's the most amazing line ever. And him and Q-Tip and Ali Shaheed Muhammad had such a dope vibe, and huge hip hop community.
I mean, I think it's awesome balance too that they found. Hip hop groups throughout hip hop's history are. It's not that there's only a few of them, but they're select. They each have their own style.
Yeah, definitely.
It's far more solo MCs who make an impact. So I think those groups that really stick are they come up with something unique, some kind of unique chemistry.
So true.
And the balance between like Q-Tip is the most low key, like he's the definition of low key. He doesn't raise above a certain decibel ever. But then him and Phife are like an awesome balance, and they do a lot of that on their tracks. They do that like back and forth kind of.
Back and forth, yeah.
I wonder how much of that was written and how much of that was freestyle. I always wondered about that, when people put iconic albums like Midnight Marauders together, it's like, how much of that, how'd you do that?
I think being a writer sometimes it's like, I might say something and kind of jokingly or just say a particular phrase in a certain way. I'll say, ooh, that's a chorus. I want to use that.
Right.
So I think sometimes it's just a building process of just kind of spitballing ideas, so it is a freestyle in a way, but
yeah, I mean,
that's one way of creating, I guess.
everybody and every group has their own process, but I mean, there's good, you know, like when we go in a studio, when JB Lime goes in the studio, we have everything almost everything done, like rehearsed and written and whatnot.
Yeah.
We try to be efficient in the studio, but when we're doing our writing session, you know, it's sprawled out over several days, and we try to be relaxed about it because you can't force it, you know, like it's
true.
You can flex it like a muscle as an artist. You know, you got to be able to go back to it when when you're inspired, but you got to be able to rely upon it. But you can't force it either. So like our writing process, we throw shit back and forth. We like, you know, I'll bring in a hook, somebody will bring in a verse. You know, every group has their own thing, and it's I love, one of my favorite, you know, things to see is how things work from like entertainment perspective. Like when we see some video of somebody in the studio or something, see Jay-Z versus Tupac, two both prolific, but they work very differently. They like Tupac is in there for 3 days and he spits out 20 songs, you know.
I know, right? True.
And they're all like just, he's been loading them up for 6 months.
Yeah,
Jay-Z will go in there.
On and on, yeah. I mean, Jay-Z, I'm pretty sure Jay-Z freestyles all his lyrics. That's what I've been told.
He doesn't freestyle. He just doesn't write.
He just doesn't write them down, right? Yeah, it's all.
He goes in with it all memorized, like, and so some of those videos are awesome to see because, like, what was the one? I think it's 99 Problems. So he's in there with Rick Rubin on the outside, you know, on the boards, and he's doing 2 different parts because on 99 Problems he does like the cop thing, and then, you know, he does like the interjections. So you just see him like stop, and then pick it back up. And then go back and put those things in later without reading anything. Like, so I think that's really interesting to watch, is how people, artists especially, perform their craft, how they go about it.
True.
Definitely. Like, one thing that's different about Tribe Called Quest that is different for a lot of other hip hop artists is that they were in part. I mean, there was a part of them during the 90s. Where I mean, at the same time, the East Coast West Coast battle was going on, and they were not anything part of it. They were just doing their hip hop shit. You know what I mean? And I mean, they were I don't know, they were just prolific, and they put out a bunch of albums. I mean, Ali Shaheed Muhammad on the tracks was amazing. Q-Tip had a great voice. Phife had great delivery. That is gonna be one hip hop group that's gonna be missed, definitely. And the thing is, now that Phife's gone, there'll be no reunion.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done that. They're one of the few that could have done that, and they
I heard they were gonna try and do that, you know. And Phife was battling health problems for a while. I mean, he was diabetic back in the day, you know. I mean, so I don't know. You know, I was thinking the other day, like a cool idea, like either Jam Master Jay or Jay Dilla on the on the ones and twos, and Phife Dawg, on the emceeing.
Oh damn!
Like
in the astral plane or something, or what?
In the natural world, you know, and then I don't know, like Nate Dogg on back vocals, you know.
Oh damn!
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, like that'd be cool, you know, because everyone in music remembers 27 for I mean, in the rock genre, you know, you got
that age, right?
And you have not John Lennon, he died at 40, but you have Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and Amy Winehouse and Janis Joplin.
Yep.
Out of 27, so you got that poster of them. But can you just imagine them, all these other cats rocking out? You know, Sean P. You know, it's just it's sad. You know, it's sad. But the thing is, when you lose someone, you have them forever on tracks, and that's
it's true.
Just listen to Phife Dawg all day. So
well, you know, that's an interesting thing. I don't mean to get too sidetracked, but I was thinking that the other day, how crazy technology is, right? And it's like I was watching this documentary of Gil Scott-Heron. It was called Black Wax. Really dope documentary. Yeah. And I was just checking it out, and I realized, I'm like, man, I get to look at this guy in his prime, right? And I wasn't even alive.
Yeah.
I got to watch this dude in his prime do his thing, drop some knowledge. It was really intense. So it's almost like it's kept people. It's like you're immortal, exactly, immortal in a sense, right? It's kind of crazy.
Well, you know what's amazing about that idea, Jus, is that you not only it's not just like video of like Gil Scott-Heron. It's like going back to reading original Shakespeare. It's like, holy shit, this is like 100 years old or whatever.
Yeah, true.
Or like Chaucer or freaking the freaking Bible or whatever. You know, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, like
putting anything in art gives it immortality. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's incredible what once it's on paper and once people remember it, it's amazing how powerful it can be.
Yeah, true.
That's gonna be, you know, Tribe Called Quest legend. You know, they were just a dope band, you know, hip hop group, and just like Shakespeare, you know, they'll be remembered. You know.
Yeah, true.
Definitely.
Very true. Very true.
I mean that, you know, I mean, but I mean, so what's up with you, man? I mean, I know you're working on some new stuff here.
Yeah, let's jump in. Let's talk a little bit about let's steer it. In fact, you talked about Phife as a intro on your How Do You Think show. So let's jump into that. So shout out to Phife Dawg. You will be missed.
Definitely.
Sure.
And the impact on hip hop is real and visceral. So, but let's steer this back towards, you know, Jus, thanks for coming on. We really, you know, we want to boil down what you're up to. So let's talk about What Do You Think, which is your CCTV show, and where can people find, before we talk about what it is, where can people find it most readily?
So the best way is just to go to the Facebook page, !CCTV, and all the episodes are there with a couple of other little clips from episodes, so you don't have to watch the whole episode if you want to just catch the wacky or weird stuff sometimes. But yeah, that's the best place thus far.
All right, cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, so with what you're doing now, there's a lot of camera work that's pretty intense, like crazy camera work. It's not just like your normal show. This is art. This is reaching boundaries.
Thank you.
Talk a little about that.
Yeah, well, it was interesting, man. You know, I've done a lot of music stuff, and I love music, but I'm kind of steering away and doing more stuff with photography and film, and the show was just kind of, I don't know, it was an opportunity. I got an interview with this woman who had her own show on CCTV, and she had me come on, and you know, I got a call a week later from CCTV saying, hey, so somebody paid for your membership, which is $75. All you need to do is come down here and fill out the paperwork. And that was all it took to get the show. Once you have a membership, you have access to having a show. So me and my friend Steve were just like, we would be so silly to pass up this opportunity. So it kind of morphed from there. And then, you know, the one of the more recent shows, I did a comedy skit with a couple of friends because I've been doing some stand-up here and there because I like being on stage. I like writing, you know, and that's why I did a lot of poetry and a lot of music. But I also like just conveying ideas and messages. And I realized the easiest way to do that is by making light of the heavy stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So the most recent thing, actually, which I'm working on right now, is another comedy skit. Probably gonna be airing next week on the show, next Wednesday.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so for people that want to get a little taste of your flavor of comedy, that Strange Encounters in Aisle 9 can also be found on YouTube. Which is awesome. I really enjoyed it, and you also that you carry over that visual style, which you said we talked a little bit in the pre-interview that you're working on that's something that you're trying to see where that's going to go, and
yeah,
I like your exploratory nature, but it's definitely carried over into Strange Encounters. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was up with Strange Encounters in Aisle 9? What was the thought process behind that?
So that was just a funny story. Me and my friend Elliot, you know, we've been going to the stand-up and telling jokes, and we realized, man, we should do a skit. Why not do a skit? Because my lady is really into, you know, photography, so she kind of I got it by osmosis, you know, and now I got the bug to do that type of stuff. And then it was his idea. It was actually an experience that he had. Is his friend had ditched him when somebody who they didn't want to see found them
from Bonnaroo.
Yeah, and he was just like, dude. So he was just left with this guy, you know. But then it was just a cool way to express a different side of myself that I don't get to do often enough, you know.
I almost thought at the end it was going to turn out that you were like a Martian.
Damn. Maybe, yeah.
But no, I really like it, man. And so this is what I was going to ask you too. So, given that style, do you have other people that you collaborate or work with, or who when you do the CCTV show, who's your editor and who are your your camera people? Are those people that you regularly work with, or are those people from the station?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I do almost all the editing of the whole show. But my girl does a lot of the really nice camera work.
Awesome.
And you know, I mean, so a lot of the negative stuff is from me. You know, walking around doing that, but it changes. Like on that skit, actually, all three of us who were acted in the skit, we all filmed.
Awesome.
But this last one that we just did had such a more cohesive vibe because my lady actually filmed the whole thing. And it just looked really well. It was shot. We didn't have to worry about where the camera was, so we could actually act more. And so I'm really looking forward to this next one coming up.
So what's your vision for? Are those going to be part of the same thing, the comedy and the talk show, or are they going to be separate entities? Because I think the other thing I want to ask you about too, that unused resource of community access is, we have a little bit of experience.
Oh man, crazy!
It's awesome. It blows my mind. I first started doing it out in Amherst when I was in the state, but then we came back here. My dad does a lot of work at the Foxborough Community Access.
Nice.
And we, for JP Lime, they've been great to us. They've helped us shoot a whole bunch of like music performances and like the first couple rap flashbacks. They helped us edit those, all kinds of stuff that, like, you know, it's an incredible resose that people have no idea exists in almost every town. Like,
I know, yeah, it's really wild, man. It's been mind blowing. You know, it just opened up doors that I didn't think were there. You know what I mean?
You know, just material. I mean, hardware, like all kinds. You can go in.
Oh yeah, totally. You know, I want to go back to your question about the vision of the show. It's kind of it's been morphing a lot, you know. And my friend Steve is someone who I've spent a lot of time with. He's the old young guy who's, you know, he's real wise, but he's kind of, we're both really young on this path that we're, you know, both going down. And it's interesting because it's going to be kind of, you know, self-help in a way, but also just like stream of conscious, you know. And I don't want it to be too confined to anything, but the comedy thing I actually want to have as a separate web series. I want to have it strictly devoted to doing comedy skits and maybe even turn that into a whole series.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, staying busy, man.
So, I don't know, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I mean, can you tell us a joke in a little bit? I mean, I'd love to hear something funny.
Can you tell us a joke?
Oh man, I do have one.
You can think about it, you know, do a little stand-up for us. I don't know.
Yeah, I had some jokes. Man, I don't have one on me.
Jason, would you like to hear me tell a joke?
Yeah, go ahead, Prof.
Knock,
okay,
knock.
go ahead.
All right, who's there?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh damn.
Oh.
No, that's it. That's all.
Okay, check this out. Right, I got one for you, and this is you know, a little slapstick humor. So, you know, there's all these. It's interesting because we're so obsessed with death and killing, right, in the society, and it's like, you know, like especially killing, like, oh, like you're killing. I kill that. Oh, my iPod's dead, or my phone died. You know, and there's actually a thing that pops up on computer that's when a program is unresponsive. Do you wait for this such and such program to respond? Like,
oh no! You cut out.
It might be the other way around. Yeah, it might actually.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
Jus, I'm sorry to cut you off. You're having a little bit of a.
You're having a little feedback.
A little mic situation on your end.
Right.
That totally technology stomped all over your joke about technology.
Oh, that's fine. That's
technology came in and rained on it.
Are we cool now?
Yeah, you're cool.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to talk about that joke, I guess. Maybe we'll take that as a sign.
Go ahead, Craig. So, I was talking to my friend today, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking about we were talking about Star Wars, and I'm not going to tell a joke, but I'll just tell a story because it's kind of funny. So I go to him because we were talking about the creation of Star Wars, and Star Trek was first, and then Star Wars, and before that was American Graffiti, and I didn't know that, and my friend told me that. Shout out to Andrew Bourne for his conversation with me today. So anyway, he goes like this. I go, wouldn't it be funny if to hear the pitch for Star Wars? Like, all right, so there's this guy, he's got daddy issues. He's you got this like long lost sister. You find out later, like three episodes in, and then there's this guy. He's kind of like homeless, and he like drives his ship with this 8-foot dog. And then there's like this robot who's kind of effeminate, but that's cool, you know. And then there's this other robot that he talks to that's like a trash can, and you know. And then there's like these sword fights, but they're not sword fights because they're like, you know, lasers. And the guy's like,
yeah, get the fuck out of my office.
yeah.
That all sounds great. I will see you again, never.
I mean, did that, I mean, right? Got an idea for this Breakfast Club thing? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'd love to be in the room for the pitch for Star Wars, and like,
yeah, well, you're not wrong because it's like one of the first sci-fi, you know, big sci-fi movies with all kinds of action and shit. So like, it's genre breaking. Like that meeting did have to go down at some point where he went and was like, all right, just bear with me for a second.
Bear with me.
There's gonna be a giant ship that's gonna come over your head. It's gonna be as long as a football field. Yeah, and then he goes,
hey, who would have known, right?
I'm listening.
Who would have known that? Who would have known that guy though would have went on? You know, George Lucas went on to like funding a lot of these new cameras and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so wild. Like I didn't really know about that until recently. You know, but it was just like, it is crazy. No, but I do hear you though. Yeah, I mean, I did see the new Star Wars. It was, you know, no judgment. It was all right. It was what I expected.
No spoilers.
Oh, I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was.
I just feel like for me, I'm just, I guess, a purist. It's like really tough to beat those ones that are, you know, the older ones. They just have such a gritty feel. Yeah. It's like tough to revisit that or touch that again. You know.
Yeah, it's tough to recapture
wasn't even Volume 4. It was just Star Wars, and then like when they made 3 other ones, they're like, I guess these came beforehand. So we'll call them.
Yeah, true.
You know, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. He's like, actually, this whole time I knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Not true. He did not know that. He was like, this is called Star Wars. I mean, I just made American Graffiti so I can, you know, I can direct and everything. But and then some guy was like, interesting. Here's $9 million to make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's how they make movies, apparently.
And that's the sum up of Star Wars. The rest is history.
Future.
Jason, I think this might be a good shot for us to jump in and do our a word from our non-sponsor. I think we hit a perfect point for that. So here on the show, on the Oddball Show, we like to give a little shout out to the places that would act as sponsors if we asked them to, but we don't, you know, have any reason to get sponsorships yet. So these are places that we frequent or are otherwise helpful to our network of talented artists and other souls. So, Jason, you want to do a little out of the blue?
Can we talk out of the blue?
Yeah, I think you should, especially with Jus. You're an out of the blue guy, right?
Oh yeah. Since it was before it was out of the blue too.
Oh, before in the old location.
Yeah, I was out of the blue before it was out of the blue. I was at the out of the blue too before it was the out of the blue too.
Oh,
I was only at the first out of the blue one once, but it was quite a time. In fact, that's where we shot the very first thing that we did together, Jason, when we did the Night of Stone Soup, which people can find on our YouTube channel, which is where this wonderful podcast is playing right now. So if you want to browse some of our previous collaborations between Oddball and JP Lime, that's the place to start, is our Night at Stone Soup.
Cool.
We did a little performance.
It really is.
It really is, man.
It is. I mean, you know, it's heavyweights going, you know, battling. Right. We joined forces. Yeah, actually, me and Prof and Ivan and Chad all got together at the Out of the Blue originally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, originally, and Ivan interviewed us, me and Chad, which was ridiculous. Well, it was ridiculous for me because it was so professional and I'm so unprofessional. And it was so well done, you know. And
it went well, man.
It was great. Right. And then you guys performed a couple of songs with Kogan and everything, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
It was great. But now, if you haven't, you know, visited the Cambridge area, you know, and shame on you if you haven't been to the new Out of the Blue, you know, in Cambridge, it's now called the Out of the Blue 2, which I'm sure all of you know this, that
Beautiful place, right?
Oh man, it's awesome. It's an art gallery. They have music all the time, every day. They do everything.
You got EXO there.
Yeah, I remember. Yep, EXO was there. But I'm trying to. There's this big event coming up.
Yeah, they got the 2-day festival, bands galore.
It's a 2 or 3 day festival. It's like April 1st or April 3rd, I think. I'm trying to get the right. But there's 30 bands playing. TJ organized it with Tom.
Is it Fool's Fest? It must be Fool's Fest, right?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's freaking crazy. Like, how are they? It's 3 days of music. It starts at 6 o'clock this Friday, right?
Yeah.
April 1st, and it goes till April 3rd at 1 a.m.
Wow.
685 people are going to fill the Out of the Blue gallery. It is going to be bananas. Some of the bands that are going to be playing there are and they're crazy. Like, there's a lot of bands. The Barbazons, Homebody, Sound of Ceres, they're from Colorado. Pick a Piper from Toronto.
Is the Seventh House playing?
Is Seventh House is playing? Yep, Seventh House is playing Saturday.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yep. So I think Seventh House is playing Saturday. Steep Leans is playing. They've been getting. They went on tour with. I forgot the name of the churches. I don't remember the name of the band, but they're getting really big, and they're playing with Vanishing DMC, Taboo, Horse Bands, Bad House. Shout out to So Soul. They're playing there, and the Seventh House, both on Friday. That's a killer lineup. So Friday you have Steep Leans, which will fill a show anyway. Then you have the Seventh House, which is shout out to Mars Jupiter. Then you have So Soul, who John is a good friend of mine. They're a great band, and all these other bands. There's like 12 bands, and then Saturday, April 2nd, there's another freaking 30 bands playing, and then there's gonna be some hip hop, some hardcore, some like psychedelic stuff, some punk. It's gonna be crazy.
Nice.
Like the first Fool's Fest. So guys, if you are in the Cambridge area, you gotta check this out. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, don't miss that.
That is our shout out to the Out of the Blue. You gotta go to the Fool's Fest. Big up to TJ Edson and Tom Tipton for putting that all together. And, yeah. So that's our unofficial sponsor.
Our unofficial.
Unofficial. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Out of the Blue. Every Monday night, Chad does his Stone Soup Poetry open mic there. So, yeah, go check him out. And our unofficial sponsor.
The unofficial sponsor of the Oddball Show.
Well, Jus, here in the second half of the show, I'd like to dig into music a little bit. You got in fact, for our audience and for all our listeners, we're going to be putting up a pertinent link section, as we always do, on the post on jplime and productions.com and on Oddball. It'll also be up in our Twitter and Facebook. We'll be tweeting that stuff out. So check that out. But the links to the Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and a video directed by Mars Jupiter, which I definitely want to get into, because we really like Mars. Mars is a friend of the show here. A friend of the Oddball Show more than anybody else is. Like, he's been multiple. He's been on once, right?
One time he was on with he was like trying to get out of the rain on a mobile phone. Now that is dedication.
Yeah, he was in multiple locations. The joy of technology. But yeah, let's talk. Let's. I don't know where you want to dig in first. I was thinking about Bandcamp and your work. I listened to your work with is that a band, G Smooth?
Yeah, well, that's it is. G Smooth is a keyboard player who I met in the subway, and I went up to him and was like, "Hey, man, kind of rhyme over some of your stuff." And he kind of looked at me like I was a little crazy, which is understandable, But then we started jamming a lot, man, and we really caught a cool groove. We only played like 3 or 4 shows. We kind of had a falling out since then.
Sounds tight.
Yeah, so is it possible for a Just Smooth reunion? Are you guys getting back?
Yeah, I think hopefully that's in the future. I'm open to them. I think we're both just kind of busy trying to figure out our own stuff.
Definitely.
But I would love to link up with him again. That was some of the most the closest thing that I've really come to as far as making the music I want to make.
Yeah, that was dope. That was live too. That was a nice set.
Yeah, that was a live set. Yeah, man, that was actually our first show, I think, and it might have even have been my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday from 2 years ago.
Hey, I made it. No.
You made it.
So what is your where does your first musical influence come from? What genre wise? Like, you know, for me, I'm a big rock and roll and hip hop. I'm like split down the middle. What's your like background a little bit?
I'll be honest, you know, I grew up on like 50s, 60s stuff. And then kind of my mom was kind of into more, you know, 70s kind of rock with definitely like some Santana. But, you know, I also, you know, I'm kind of not ashamed to say this, but even some disco. I guess my parents met at a disco actually, so
shout out to disco.
Yeah. Disco made me. No, but I mean, it's transformed a lot, man. You know, I've been blessed enough to know a lot of different people. So now it's like I definitely have influences from like metal to blues to obviously hip hop. Hip hop was like the one that got me into music, definitely.
Where did you first come in? What was your first hip hop? Where did you first meet hip hop?
Man, I think it might have been the first time I bought 2 records. Like my sister bought this Eminem record, and like, you know, I like Eminem. You know, obviously he's good and everything, but I just wanted to buy some CDs because I had never bought myself CDs. So I bought a Common Resurrection album, and a Black Star record, which was Mos Def and Talib Kweli collabo. And those 2 records just blew my mind, and that's when I was like, I'm gonna start writing.
Right on. Mos Def is one of my biggest influences, and like first of all, one of hip hop's most underrated artists, I think.
Oh, easily, yeah, definitely.
But one of my absolute favorite lyricists. You know, people do a lot of rankings and stuff. I don't know that I could rank him as one of the top 5, but he's one of my top 3 personal favorites.
Yeah, I hear you there. Yeah.
As a favorite, yeah, he ranks up there. I mean, for lyrical skill, he's definitely up there too. I mean, he's just a slam dunk artist.
Yeah, just style too. I mean, that whole, big huge thing for me was like how he would sing. You know, because I like the almost like tribal sense of it. Like I love you know, rapping because you have that mathematical flow and it's like breath, but the sing is more like feel. It's just kind of, he had both of those, which is really, you know, dynamic, I guess.
And I like Black Star too, because, you know, Kweli, you know,
oh man,
Kweli and him together they're titans, you know. And
right? Yeah, totally, dude.
You know, like Black Star is like incredible. You know, one of the CDs that I found influential was Sound Bombing Volume 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when that came out with the Beat Junkies, who later was, I was like, you know, I didn't know that was Babu from Dilated Peoples. I was like, damn, you know, that's
the sound bombing predates Black Star, right? Like is that before Black Star?
That's a good question, because Kweli's on it with Reflections Eternal, and I thought Reflection Eternal was a Kweli album. So
it's a group. It's him and High Tech. They become Reflection Eternal. Just like him and Mos.
Shout out to High Tech. Is he stuff? I haven't heard.
High Tech? Yeah, they every couple of years there's a rumor that he and Talib are gonna do another album. That's some of his best shit. Like they really come together.
Yeah,
Talib, they're crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Black Star is great, you know, and then Mos Def's, you know, I like how you just said Common too, because Common is, I don't know why he changed from Common Sense to Common, but he's definitely.
Yeah, I mean, when he was Common Sense, he was ill too. He was more like wacky back then. He was almost like had a really kind of all over the place flow.
Yeah.
I like him in the middle like of his career. He was like, he had both of those. He was like together. Like some of the joints on that record, like something pineapple juice. I can't remember the whole. Yeah. Orange Pineapple Juice, I think was the name of the song. Anyway, really, he just riding the beat in ways that like multiple ways. You're like, how do you figure that out?
Now, you know, you were talking about you're talking about your influences are like Common and stuff. Now, I listened to some of your stuff on SoundCloud, and you know, like the thing that Mars did, the what was it called? Life
After Life.
Life After Life, yeah.
Definitely a 90s influence.
Yeah, very. Definitely.
Listen to it had a 90s feel to it. It was nice. It was very reminiscent of the music that Tribe put out back in the day, and like.
Nice. That's a compliment. Yeah, thank you.
Like,
that was definitely.
Guys,
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely check that out. Huh?
No, go ahead.
I mean, there's gonna be links on both Oddball and JP Lime's websites. You gotta check out Jus's music.
Thank you.
On his SoundCloud. It's really great, and it's very eclectic. He's all over the place, so it's good.
Yeah, some of the later stuff I did, I was working with this band. It was actually some housemates of mine, and we were called Jus I instead of Ja and I.
Yeah.
It was just I and I. It was me and my two. One of them was a synth player, and the other was an acoustic guitar player, and we were doing some like acoustic reggae, but it was like some also like with synths and stuff. It was really kind of tripped out.
Yeah,
but some of that stuff is on there. I think like 1 or 2 tracks. But I'm definitely still messing around with music. I have a couple instrumental projects I want to put out, but I haven't really gotten to the point where I feel like I have the sounds where I want it to be. So I'm kind of still working on it.
You have a full-length CD out. I have it.
Life in the Simplest Terms.
Life in the Simplest Terms. Yeah. I mean, that's a full album, nice production and everything. Who produced that?
Actually, John Glass. I actually have a whole other project that I have like 8 or 9 tracks recorded. Just trying to wrap that project up. It's gonna be also produced by John Glass, and it's kind of a little more like the Life in the Simplest Terms was an idea of like having a concise package for things, and then this next one is like double that.
Yeah, yeah.
And but it's really eclectic too. But it definitely has a really I have a couple features in there of friends of mine who really can sing crazy. So I'm looking forward to drop that too. It's just trying to find the right time, and also I don't really want to perform music anymore unless I have a band.
Right, yeah.
Well, unless I'm
we
play keyboards in a band.
We all got the hip hop, I play music.
Yeah.
Kind of a badass musician myself, prof.
Yeah, you really are, man. I often think of it that way. You're Mr. Rock and Roll. That's what I call you. Not to your face.
You call me Mr. Rock and Roll, Mr. Rock and Roll.
I'd feel embarrassed if I called you that to your face, but. So, just have you performed a lot without a band? And have you like?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I used to hit like almost every open mic I could. I would go to the Cantab every Wednesday and do poetry there.
Cantab?
Yeah, and then a couple of times they have this really dope hip hop event. It's called the Mind Spray, and it's an open mic. You get 2 songs. And they used to do it at the Middle East, but now they do it at the Wonder Bar. But I rocked a couple Middle East.
What's it called?
I'm not
listeners are gonna want to hear that.
Mind Spray. Mind Spray.
Mind Spray.
Mind Spray. Yeah, like it's a cool thing. But the winner of that wins $100, and they get to feature on the next show, which is the monthly thing.
Yeah.
So I remember the first acapella, actually. I was one of the only people to do an acapella. Everyone else had beats, so I spit to somebody else's beats. I did an acapella. I came in second to Mr. Fritz. It was mad funny. Mr. Fritz he started blowing up a bit and started doing some cool stuff. But I don't know, man. He's dope. I'm just not really. I don't like to. And this is just my own personal opinion. I don't really like to be a guy up there spitting to my music coming out of the speakers. I'd rather go with somebody playing music,
I certainly feel you.
Yeah.
More organic.
As a hip hop artist, there's a couple different things to it. First of all, I mean, going to any hip hop show, whether it's a national act or a local act, it is always, not always, more times than not, you can't feel it the same way you can at any rock show, and that makes it a harder thing to make a good hip hop performance. It instantly does. It's hard to bring people in, hard to keep them in, hard to you just don't have the captivating vibe of the live sound that you're a part of. You can literally feel it.
But you know what though?
Totally.
When you go to a hip hop show and they're mixing on the 1s and 2s and stuff, and because you don't hear that on the CD usually.
Yeah.
So when they're mixing on the 1s and 2s, that gets me pumped up. So One time
they have a real
Evidence and Babu, and that was freaking awesome. I mean, shout outs to Babu. He's just kind of a powerhouse DJ, or you know,
nice.
he is one of the original beat junkies. So like, I mean, seeing stuff like that, crazy.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love DJs, and a DJ is dope. There isn't actually a lot of. It doesn't seem to be a lot of old school DJs doing ones and twos out there now. But the ones that are, I respect. But I do hear you on the whole thing of like the instrumentation and being able to feel that more. Also, another thing I've noticed is like a lot of hip hop shows, for some reason, they don't have the right sound.
Mm-hmm.
The music is so loud and the mic is so low that everyone has to yell on the mic and it's all muffled.
Yeah, and most of us as MCs have bad mic control, like
yeah, no doubt.
Come
true,
from the mic looks
this is
cool, but it makes terrible sound.
I know.
Everyone's out of breath like Guns N' Roses on that.
But that's an art, man, and I love that. And the people that can really rock a show are the ones that that's why I respect Jay-Z, because his flow was so smooth, but it was way more rugged than anyone that was trying to spit hard, because he was just so nonchalant and smooth with it. And like the people that can do that on the stage, who don't have to yell and scream, who their voice carries, touch you, they'll touch your soul.
Yeah.
But
people like that. I mean, not going back to Tribe Called Quest, but Tribe Called Quest was an amazing live act, and like the Beastie Boys. Oh man, seeing the Beastie Boys is like going to church. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I've
never had the pleasure, man.
Me either.
Yeah. We never will again, man. Another one. That's who it was.
Yeah, that's true.
Man.
Man.
MCA, man. That's just crazy. But I mean, when you can rock a show and you have mic control, that's pretty hard to. I mean, it's hard to do because a lot of people get out of breath. It's about control.
Yeah, true.
You know what I think though? I just think of it this way: like being part of those shows and watching some of them, that like there is so much potential for hip hop to grow in in those kind of ways, like artistically too, but in those like technical kind of ways that like. And there are some shows that are awesome, and it's a big difference between a really good hip hop show and like one that isn't any good. Is
definitely
often just the sound quality and like little details like that like a band has to do because they're playing instruments and they're each going in their own amplifier, and like if you don't do it correctly, it'll sound terrible. So like you have to learn how to do it right. And we as hip hoppers, and like I'm fully part of this, we fake it a lot, and every time I hear somebody like rapping over their own lyrics.
Yo, that's the craziest thing. Dude, I've been to some of these shows, and I swear, some people have backing tracks over the entire track.
Yeah, they do all the time.
I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, man, like anyone can sing along to someone singing.
That's right. You're doing what I do in the car.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a trip, man. So I love hip hop, man. I want to incorporate it into the music that I do, but I'm also realizing like that certain age demographics that certain music plays towards. I'm kind of trying to reach maybe a little more experienced, older, open-minded. Kind of demographic to like say, okay, like how do we change the situation at hand? Because a lot of people listen to music for different reasons, and some people listen to it to get away from the real stuff. But I like to get to it to talk about the real stuff. It's the easiest way to do it. So it's exactly. So to shy away from that is kind of just like I don't know. It just kind of doesn't seem natural.
I mean, I think that's definitely a conversation. I mean, one of the things that like I think hip hop needs to do to be more powerful is definitely reach, a whole genre of people, not just, a whole different, whole age ranges. Like a band like the Roots or the
man, the Roots are really dope. I love them, man.
Like you could listen to them, you've seen them lyrically progress, And I
love Black Thought, man.
Oh yeah.
Hell yes.
No, I like Black Alicious and Gift of Gab and
oh wow, really dope. Yeah.
I just got to see them a couple months ago.
Oh damn.
They were dope.
Wow. Did he do A to Z?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Shit. And the crowd went insane.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was at this place called the Sinclair in Harvard Square.
Oh, nice. There you go. Okay.
That's a nice spot.
Yeah, it's a really great place to see a show. If people haven't been there, definitely check it out. You know, it's like you can get up nice and close, and real good vibe up on the balcony and whatnot. And I got to see, speaking of, Talib Kweli with the Soul Rebel sound system a month ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was live. You know, I love New Orleans.
Soul Rebels. The Soul Rebels opened up.
No, Kweli was. And it was the one. If I have one disappointment about the show, is that we didn't get enough Talib. I thought there was going to be a Talib set afterwards, but like the Soul Rebels are dope. Like they, like if you like brass, it is.
And Nola, man, shout out to the Soul Rebels. I know them. I don't know them, but they used to be on Rounder Records, or they might still be. But shout out to them, man. Soul Rebels.
But yeah, so he was playing with them. He came out for like a half a dozen songs, maybe like 8 songs throughout the night, and that shit was live. It was I danced my little ass off.
All right.
But that's a great place to see a show at the Sinclair. So I got to see Black Alicious there a couple months ago. So if people get a chance, go check out the Sinclair. It's a good spot.
Big bands come there. I think I saw. I mean, they're not. I mean, to me, they're Man or Astro Man, which was crazy because the guy was playing. It's like a I don't know what the hell it's called. It's like a I don't know. It's like it's like a violin, but it's just using rays of music. It's like a seraphim or something like that.
Oh yeah, theremin.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
theremin.
Way off.
That was pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Hey, phonetically sounded right. Anyway.
Yeah, man. And you got just there, so.
This is my mic. But yeah, I mean, they have some. I mean, I think the Damned play there a couple times, and you got acts like Kweli. I mean, Sinclair is definitely a good spot to see, and they also got like a lot of good beers too. They do. They
have a really good beer selection. Yeah.
All right.
You got the B Hoppy there. Oh man.
Yeah, man. Good memory.
Of the show. Woo. Anyway.
Well, here, let's do this. Let's jump into a little what's going on with JP Lime and Oddball. We're kind of coming down near the end of the hour. We fly through this sometimes.
Yeah.
We have somebody fun to talk about and plenty of good conversation fodder. We fly through this. So
we're almost halfway done. We only got an hour and a half left.
That's the old format, my friend. That's the go until 1 a.m. format.
We would go when we couldn't talk no more.
Yeah, go until we've had too many beers and can't see.
Yeah,
all right, but let's jump into what's going on. Let's try to keep this tight. We'll talk about what's going on 2 sites, and then we'll come back, do a little list of 10 with our good friend Jus here, and
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you want to go first? Or you want me to?
Why don't you go first? There's a lot of stuff going on at JP Lime, so why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, right on. So over at jplimeproductions.com, where tonight you can obviously, and after tonight, find the Oddball Show with Jus Enuf playing live. We do all kinds of things. We are your world with a crunchy hip hop center, so our blog covers all kinds of stuff. But hip hop is our heart. All last week, and actually last couple weeks, in conjunction with our March edition of the Rap Flashback, Ivan was putting up pieces about Eazy-E. I think it was a Run DMC one up there. Just little pieces. There was one about Outkast and Rose Parks. Just little pieces of our Rap Flashback, which is our view of hip-hop history. We do it every month. We our 15 to 20-minute video segment hosted by Ivan. And you can find that at jplimeproductions.com as well. So this month we did this month was March, which was Women's History Month, so we did a little segment in the middle. We talked about this a little bit last week, so I won't talk too much about it. But a little segment in the middle for 3 women artists from the 90s. We did our singles release segment. So that's rap history at jplimeproductions.com. This week, I'm going to be putting out a piece tomorrow on The Walking Dead, they're coming to their series finale. Not series. Shoot. Wow.
Ooh.
Their season finale of the 6th season.
I'm in trouble there.
Yeah, man, I'm going to have some Walking Dead fans hunting me down to my house. But they're coming down to the season finale. I don't watch a ton of television, but what I do I really get into, so I like to write about it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on very soon. That's one of my other favorite shows, so you'll see some of that up on the site. In fact, that was last week's. They had an awesome episode last week. They kind of maybe spun off their second Marvel series on ABC, or their third actually. So I talked about that last week, but this week I'm talking about The Walking Dead and their season finale, which is gonna be ridiculous and violent and crazy. Because they do a lot of great transfers from the graphic novel. It's one of their like fine touches of the show. So there may be one of those coming up in the season finale. It's going to be just insane. So I have to write about that. It's the first Walking Dead article I've done, but I'm doing that for tomorrow. And then I think I'm going to get something else up for Friday because I'm having some real issues with Comcast. So we may be leaving them. So I may just do a fuck off Comcast piece. We'll see. So we'll see. But that's jp9productions.com. We do a lot of different stuff. We do, hip hop is our heart, but just like our listeners and our fans, we're interested in a lot of different stuff. Movies, music, politics is a big one for us. Obviously, the presidential race is going on right now, so I can't help but think about Trump and his craziness, and the Bernie versus Hillary race, and there's a lot going on that's really important for us to be involved in and talking about and thinking about. So that's also up there. So check out a lot of different stuff at jp9productions.com going on this week.
And so if you're new to the Oddball Show, Oddball Magazine is a poetry and art magazine. We actually put up something every single day, sometimes 2 or 3 a day, actually. We have a bunch of columnists. Shout out to Janet Cormier, and she has the Bamboozled No More section. And then, the Underground Garden, Liza Zayas, and, of course, James Van Loy, which is all one thing. And plus, Chad Parento, who puts it all together. He's the driving force behind Oddball, and we couldn't do it without him. But we every Wednesday we have people submit to us, submit to Oddball, whatever. But we did. We had people every Wednesday. Someone submits to Oddball, and we put it up. So this actually someone came one. I'm telling you, we put stuff up all the time, but definitely on Wednesday. And that person got 4 votes, which is a lot. 5-star poem. The poem by Len Kuntz. It's called Order of Protection. Nice poem with work from Ira Joel Haber. And Ira Joel Haber is a Brooklyn artist and pretty awesome, and he's been part of the Oddball family for a long time. But also we had a good friend of mine and a great poet, Adelon Joseph. If you haven't heard Adelon, his stuff is great. It's really spiritual and hopeful, and I like it. He put up a poem. It's called Fortunes, and you can check that out on Oddball Magazine as well, with artwork from Richard Montgomery, who is fantastic. You should see his stuff. He's the one actually who designed my book. He's crazy. And then then we have, as I said, James Van Loy with his political. He's just, if you want to get a real dose of truth, read James Van Loy, and the same thing goes for Janet Cormier. But and of course we have our Stone Soup servings, which lets everyone know that on Friday the poet from Oddball Magazine is going to be reading at Stone Soup Poetry in Cambridge at Out of the Blue 2 Gallery, and this week's was Gloria Monahan. I heard. And then we had a poem by Sudeep Adhikari, and with a photography by T.J. Edson. And Sudeep has been he's been published in Verse Virtual, Arlington Literary Journal, Zombie Logic Review, Dead Snakes, UFO Gigolo, Literary Yard, Soul Lit Magazine, and Novel Masters. And it's really a great poem. Check that out. You can all check that out at Oddball Magazine, and then every Tuesday I come with it with my Jagged Thought, which
come with it now.
that I'll read at the end of the program. So yeah, oddballmagazine.com. We are poetry for the masses. Come check us out. We're awesome, right, Prof?
You are awesome. You're my favorite poetry magazine.
Thank you. My mom says I'm cool.
You get both of my thumbs up.
Oh, great. I don't know. Okay.
You get 5 limes from the lime. That's what you get.
Oh, I got 5 limes.
Yeah, buddy.
5 rhymes.
But yeah, so the Oddball Show here is a collaboration between Oddball Magazine and JP9 Productions. You can find all kinds of stuff about both both entities at our home bases, jp9productions.com and oddballmagazine.com. You can also find us on our respective social media networks, at jp9 on Twitter, on Instagram, jp9 Productions on our Facebook page. You can find me. And now SoundCloud. That's right. That's a good one.
We're working on getting us on iTunes, so you'll all hear us shortly.
Yeah. Yeah. So come find us. Come be a part of the Oddball Show, and we really appreciate you tuning in. Let's do before we get to Jagged Thoughts. Let's do what we like to call the list of 10. You down for this, Jus?
The list.
Even though you don't know what it is, you're down for it. So this is a questionnaire that I've kind of put together that I stole from James Lipton. Anybody who hasn't watched Inside the Actor Studio, it's a great interview show with actors and stuff. James Lipton has this questionnaire of 10 questions that he stole from Bernard Pivot on the French show Apostrophe, which he stole from the Proust questionnaire. So I like the idea of taking it and molding it and continuing it on. So without further ado, the list of 10. All right, Jus. Number 1. What time and place would you like to be if not here and now?
Oh, man.
They're not all so ethereal. Just don't be worried. We just start
there and then. There and then.
Oh, awesome answer.
Oh, boom, man.
Number 2. What is the greatest advice you've ever received?
You can do anything you put your mind to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 3. What would your superpower be?
Oh, man. Calming?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
I like how you lulled us into a meditative state first, just to accentuate that. And be like, and just, as I just did, my superpower is calming.
Yeah. I mean, my other superpower of calming. Yeah, that'd be funny. You basically like, what's my superpower?
All right, number 4.
Calming. I like that.
I liked it too.
All right, go ahead.
Number 4. Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5. Who is your favorite person?
Oh, yeah. Probably have to say my lady.
Nice.
Yeah, good answer.
Yeah, yeah.
She's standing on the other side of the screen, just like, hey, asshole.
No. I mean, I was gonna say myself only because I feel like you can't really enjoy anyone else's company if you can't enjoy your own, But that was too narcissistic. So.
Like Phife Dawg said, and he literally said this. He said, if I don't tell myself I'm the shit, then who else is going to? Right?
Yeah.
Nice circle, man. Good call.
All right. See you.
Well done. All right, so number 6. Number 6, yeah. What is your quest?
Man.
And who's your tribe?
I guess honestly, how to become my own boss, and be able to live peacefully. Really, I mean, it's really that simple. It's so crazy how the simplest thing is one of the hardest things to do. But that that's where I'm at.
Very nice. Number
Thus
7.
Far.
Thus far.
Who knows?
Number 7.
No.
Fill in the blank. All you need is blank.
Ganja.
First, take care of head. Number 8. Rock, paper, or scissors?
Rock, man. My name is Craig, which comes from crag, which means rugged, or rock, which goes with my last name, Hard.
Word.
Yeah, my last name really is hard. It's mad funny, man. I've heard all the jokes, trust me.
Number 9, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Alive.
That's a good one. That's good.
Nice.
A lot of progress when you're alive.
Yeah, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Just imagine seeing, like, I see some of these old people, man, and I'm like, damn, you must have seen so much stuff that I couldn't even imagine. Just the simplest things, you know what I mean? Weird changes and things, you know?
Yep.
But yeah.
I believe it, man. My grandmother was born in 1932, so just
Whoa.
stuff in her lifetime. I mean, she's only, what, 80? I don't want to do the math.
It's crazy.
But,
time warps, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and what you will have seen in that time, you know?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I hope we see virtual reality and hover.
So Jason's looking forward to is a hoverboard.
Yeah,
Then he can die.
Hoverboards and virtual reality, and we can already get that on eBay. So what else we got?
No shit. Yeah. All right, number 10.
Right call close. It's coming back. All right.
Number 10. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear St. Peter say when you reach the pearly gates?
Oh, man. Smoking or none?
Good answer.
That was good.
And that is the list of 10. You've made it.
All right. Yeah.
It's been our great pleasure to have. We're going to have Jason close out the show with his Jagged Thought in just a moment, but it's been our great pleasure to have Jus Enuf on our show tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Oh, man, thanks for having me.
Go check out all of his pertinent links, SoundCloud, Bandcamp. Check out the video that Mars Jupiter shot, who, obviously a good friend of the show.
Yeah.
But then also, so like he said, he's really segueing more into TV, so definitely go check out How Do You...
What do you
think?
Yeah.
I want to say, how do you think? That's
How do we think? I don't know.
Check out What Do You Think, and check out his comedy.
Ahoy? Oh, no.
Yo.
Is Prof gone?
Yeah, I don't know.
What just happened? Anyway.
Am I here?
Good job, man.
All the joys of technology. Where did
if you were in the here and now, where would you be?
I was in the ether.
Yeah, you were in the
so I don't know where I dropped off there. That was weird. But anyway, Just thank you very much from us here at the Oddball Show. It's been a great pleasure.
Right back at you, man. Appreciate
Thank you, Jus. That was a lot of fun.
No doubt.
And we'll talk. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Check out Jus's SoundCloud. Check out his music, and check out his show on CCTV, and maybe it'll be on Oddball Magazine. I don't know, but it will be. And you can check it out there too. I was supposed to keep that secret, but yeah, we're going to be premiering that on Oddball Magazine in upcoming episodes, so you can also check it out at Oddball Magazine.
Nice.
So yeah, it's awesome. So thank you, Jus, for being on the show. Thank you, Prof.
You're welcome.
Man.
Good
Definitely.
show today. Rest in peace, Phife. And
no doubt.
I'm gonna read my. It's kind of a wacky piece, actually. It's actually ridiculous, but I like it. Jagged Thought 118, and that be the way of the world. All right, it's ridiculous. Here we go. Boom, ya, ridicula. Walk through the pharmacy with pterodactyl claw. Wincing at the dog pound, pause. Working the angles on the seesaw. Seesaw left. Went to the market, grab a chicken's breast, and grill it up on shark weed. Cook it up good with little teriyaki, rude boy food. Rhythm snakes, snake the rhythm with Cheshire steaks. Earthquakes with pancakes, put a little syrup on the record break. See how it tastes. Magazine of magazines, machine gun. Talking fast with paychecks, 911. 411, 123, Wu-Tang forever, I decree. Cash rules everything around me. Lumps and bruises, orange juices, busted bitches, drug abusers, battered up a cake boss. No more gummy needles, toxic shock. No more people dying on my block. Sync the solar system and magnify. Play it on the playground. Play it in the background. Play it on the foreground. Listen to the world as it dries. We are all sunburned. Gonna die, but not tonight. Tonight we write. Because who has a mission to write with persistence? We don't miss this. We never did. Reading Ulysses, I never did this. I'm talking about myself. Never black belt. No trophy on the shelf. And losing worth. Putting in work. Bo Diddley sing atop a Christmas tree. Step into my office. Where's my briefs? Easy got his mouth wide. Singing clamped teeth. Rolling in the deep. Subterranean creep. Lotus flower, wicked garden, mother, mother, dear departed, lions wincing, a dentist shooting, the dentist grinning, in-state prison, and that be the way of the world, and that be the way of the world, and that be the way of the world, and that be the way of the world.
All right.
That was dope, man. I really like that.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I was in a group. That's actually how I wrote it. I was like, I don't know. I was rude boy food. I don't know. I was into it. So thank you very much for reading that. Definitely. I mean, thank you.
You just thank yourself for reading it. Well, thank you very much. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. That was really helpful. Right.
I am really awesome.
If I don't tell me I'm the best, who the hell will?
Hey, that's what we call a callback.
All right.
All right. So you get the music?
I do. Wait, while I'm doing it, why don't you just keep talking so I can cue it up?
I'll do that.
All
So
right.
this has been the Oddball Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. As Jason said, it'll be up soon on SoundCloud and iTunes and wherever good podcasts are available. But for now, tune in at our YouTube channel at jplineproductions.com on YouTube. Sorry, JP Line Productions on YouTube. And then come find us at jplineproductions.com, the home of all things Lime, and the current spot of where this podcast is playing right now. So it's been a lot of fun doing the Oddball Show, and we're continuing to grow and change. But we really appreciate everybody tuning in. It's a lot of fun.
Shout out to Ivan and Chad. We'll see you. I'm sure you'll be on the show pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right. All right, yo. See you guys later. All right.
Peace.
Peace.
This is the Oddball Show, a podcasting collaboration with JP Line Productions.
Can I ask you a question?
Magazine.